Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio downtown in the capital city on this Wednesday. Means we're brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. About half the work week in the rearview mirror. Appreciate you hanging out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Got Jacob Beck and Jordan Kitchens back there on the ones and twos, and plenty to do over the next couple of hours. Koki Riley been with the baseball squad all season long. He joins us in 15 minutes. Talk about what we saw in Omaha and certainly what we expect to see tonight at Alex Box Stadium for the celebration. Gates open at 7 and the show starts at about 8 o'clock from the box. So we'll chat with Koki about all of that. It's What If Wednesday. Welcome your feedback via Twitter at HuntPalmer88, certainly in the Bayou Ford chat. If you got some what ifs, throw those at us. I want to talk about the top 10 moments of this LSU baseball season. We'll do that in the second hour. So plenty to do. Let's start things the way we do every single day with our Genesis opening drive.
It's time for Hunt's opening drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
So we'll get to baseball here in 15 minutes. I want to take some time personally to talk a little bit about LSU's football recruiting weekend over the weekend, and really not so much about the folks that were here, more so about the folks that weren't. Because Bo Bentley was not on campus this past weekend. He was on campus the weekend prior. LSU rolled out the red carpet for him, big four-star quarterback out of the state of Texas, and Garrett Nussmeier chatted with him, and they rolled out that red carpet, as I mentioned, and Bo Bentley decided to go to Oklahoma. That's apparently a school that he's grown up really admiring, a school that he's been a fan of, and that makes sense because, like, candidly, do we think Brent Venables is going to be there this time next year? I'd be pretty stunned if he's still there. But that's okay. That's a guy that decided to go play for a school he's loved since his childhood, and he's got a great opportunity to go in there and perhaps get some playing time as a backup and see if it works out there moving forward. And if it doesn't, then you reopen things. But LSU is not going to get Bo Bentley in this class. It doesn't appear. And so you look at LSU's quarterback situation, and we briefly chatted with Sonny Shipp about this yesterday, but it's like, okay, you got Garrett Nussmeier, who's going to be your quarterback, and that's a great spot to be in because he's as good a player as there is at the position in the country. But behind him, you've got Michael Van Buren and Colin Hurley, and that's really it. Juwan Johnson's going to come in there and do some package plays, but that's really it. And then you don't have a quarterback that's an incoming freshman this summer, and you don't have a quarterback in this class, and most of them have committed elsewhere. And to me, LSU needs to sign a high school quarterback in this class because you can sign a high school quarterback in this class that will come in next year and won't feel like they have to be on the field. And the reason I frame it that way is because if Nussmeier leaves, and if, this is an if, but it's a reasonable if, either Michael Van Buren or Colin Hurley decides to transfer out, you have one quarterback. One. And that's not enough. I'd like to have someone at least in the pipeline in addition to the fact that you've got to go get a transfer quarterback next year. Now, getting a transfer quarterback is very doable. Teams do it every year, and LSU certainly had a tremendous amount of success doing it. Generally, a transfer quarterback is going to come in with an anticipation of playing. Like Michael Van Buren was an amazing ad for LSU this past offseason because he's a proven quarterback in the SEC that didn't expect to play. And you can kind of put him in the boat with A.J. Swan, but I would suggest that Michael Van Buren is a more proven commodity than A.J. Swan, who, yes, he started at Vanderbilt. Was he an SEC-level player? No. And that's why he's moved down a couple levels to Appalachian State. Michael Van Buren looks like an SEC player. He's a four-star quarterback coming out of the D.C. area and signed with Mississippi State and started pretty comfortably for a year. Now, it was a bad team, and, he had some high points and some low points, but for LSU to get him to campus with an understanding that he wasn't going to be the starting quarterback, I felt like that was an amazing ad because that's a tough thing to do. Quarterbacks are not looking to transfer to sit. So you're going to have to massage that situation, like, let's just play a hypothetical. Let's just do a hypothetical here. Nussmeier graduates. Van Buren is the backup this year. Colin Hurley looks at the situation and goes, me and Michael are about the same year. I'm going to go look elsewhere. Like, just hypothetical. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I have no idea. But we're just working through a hypothetical. And you only have Michael Van Buren. Like, what are the odds you can go get a great quarterback who's going to come in to compete with a guy who started in the SEC in 2024, and it's now 2026, and he kind of expects to play? Like, are you going to be able to get somebody in there that's really good? If you've got an SEC starting quarterback from 2 years ago on your roster that kind of expects that job to be his, it's not a direct path to the field. And then if you can't get someone that's really good, that's definitely in front of Michael Van Buren, like, who are you going to add behind him to come sit on the bench as a transfer? Like, I just told you that I thought Van Buren was kind of like a unicorn in that way because you just don't get a lot of guys that transfer to sit. So the answer to that question is, we'll bring in a freshman who's okay with sitting and is very talented. And if he gets thrust in there, well, you got to deal with that in one way or another. But, like, your numbers are not where they need to be. And I think that LSU put all their eggs in the Bryce Underwood basket, which I did not have a problem with. He's as good a player as there is in the country. You're probably not going to get a freshman to come compete with that. You got to go for that. And then you got railroaded by Oracle, and okay, here you are. But you got to adjust to that, and they needed to get a high school quarterback in this class, and I think they really thought Bentley was the guy, and it didn't work out. So now I find that your situation is fine for 2025. Like, you're okay for this year. 2026 is terrifying right now. And it's a year-to-year era of college athletics, but, like, you need to get someone in this boat. So LSU's kind of scrambling a little bit, and Bryson Beaver is the name that has come to the forefront. He's a 4-star quarterback. He has got good size, about 6'2". He's got offers from solid programs like Oregon. It seems to be in the lead. Ole Miss is very interested. Alabama's got an offer in there. USC's got an offer in there. But LSU's late to the party here. Not that they haven't ever spoken to Bryson Beaver. That's not the case. But he's never visited. And you just ran through all your visit weekends, and he didn't have an offer. It didn't come. So now you have to sit through this 2-month dead period where you cannot have in-person contact. You can FaceTime, as we talked to Sonny yesterday. You can chat with guys on the phone. You can be in contact. You can't have face-to-face contact. You cannot go visit, and he can't come to you. So you now have to take the next 2 months where a lot of high school seniors, that their senior year is approaching, are committing before they start their seasons. And you have to make sure that Bryson Beaver doesn't commit to Oregon and doesn't commit to Ole Miss and holds out for you so that you can get him on campus during the season and try to add him into class as your quarterback. Now, I think that, to me, Joe Sloan's done a really good job of evaluating quarterbacks, developing quarterbacks, and generally getting quarterbacks to commit. But you missed on Underwood. I don't think that's anybody at LSU's fault at all. And you missed on Bentley. And if you don't get one in this class, then all of a sudden I have to look at this and go, wait a second, you got to get some high school quarterbacks sometime. You can't just have none. You can't just have none. It's awesome that Nussmeier's here and developed. It's awesome that Jaden Daniels was a superstar. It's awesome that you got Colin Hurley here. It's awesome that you got Michael Van Buren here. It's awesome that you got Bryce Underwood committed. And all of that happened in a row, and that's all fantastic. But right now, you're teetering. Not going to affect you this fall. But there's got to be something on the back end of that. And if you're completely fine with Michael Van Buren being the starting quarterback in 2026, and you have no reason to believe that Colin Hurley wants to go anywhere else, and you feel like you can add one of these star freshmen next year, well, it's palatable, but I don't know how reasonable that is. So they've got to do something in this class, and I think Bryson Beaver is the guy that they've identified at this point. It's just a question of, can you hold him off, make sure that he doesn't jump in the boat somewhere else? And that's a tough thing to do. I'm very, very understanding of recruiting misses, more so than a lot of fans on the internet. You can't lock a kid in the trunk of the car and drive him to campus and shove him in a closet until school starts. Like, you can only just make your pitch. So if you lose this one guy, I can't get upset about that. You lose a second guy here or there as 2 or 3 years come by. Like, individual recruiting misses will never bother me because everybody's different. I do believe the coaches work hard. I do believe, but you can only make a pitch. But if you run up on 3 years where the pipeline dries out, then there's something that you've got to look at and go, we got to change something. Like, we got to do something differently because it's the most important position on the field, and it's got to have the numbers and the talent to win, or else all the money that you're spending on the rest of this roster is for naught. Because if you can't put a championship-level quarterback back there, it doesn't matter. We've seen that at LSU. We know that. So I still trust Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan to manage that position because it's been managed excellently, and it will be managed excellently this year because I believe having Garrett Nussmeier as your starter is awesome, and I think having Michael Van Buren as your number 2 is very, very good based on what I saw last year. But that all fades away when you get to spring football in, 7-8 months? So we'll see. Hopefully they can make a push for Bryson Beaver. Transfer portal is always available to get that next guy. But you got to bridge the gap somehow from Garrett Nussmeier to this star-studded class for next signing period. We'll see if they can get that done. It's very, very important that LSU does that. That's our opening drive presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge. We'll have What If Wednesday coming up in 15 minutes, so make sure you all get those into the Bayou Ford chat and hit me up on Twitter at HuntPalmer88. When we come back, we'll chat with Koki Riley about the national champion baseball team. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is that website. It is storm season. Storm season is inevitable down here. There's one every year. You're well aware of that. Make sure your property policy reads correctly. If you're a business owner or if you're in charge of the insurance, whether that's a risk management or a CFO, whatever the case may be, if you just picked the property policy based on the premium, I get that. It's very important. The bottom line's a big deal. But the last thing you want to do is pay that money for your property and premium and then have a storm come through and have incorrect business interruption limits, have co-insurance penalties you got to deal with you weren't aware of. These are things that need to be sorted through. And if your broker hasn't talked to you about them at renewal, let the experts of the Highland Insurance Group take a look at your premium. Let them look at your policy. Let them look at the fact that it's going to respond properly if a storm does hit, because it's inevitable that it will. Maybe not this year, maybe not the next year, maybe it is this year. But you got to be proactive about these things. And Jonathan Carbo and his team pride themselves on their expertise at placing insurance with the right market, with the right coverage, at the right premium. So if you want a second set of eyes for free, they'll look at your policy for free and audit it. Just give them a chance to make sure that everything's buttoned up so that when that storm rolls through, your business keeps cruising. It's the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online at HighlandIG.com. HighlandIG.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up. Failure happens to us all, but this is how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is when you get back up when you fall.
Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Looking to get that pool of your dreams, that outdoor kitchen that you've always wanted in the backyard. Renaissance Homes and Pools can help you out with that. Contact my guy, Joey Blanchard, 225-252-7745. Again, 225-252-7745. That's Joey's cell phone directly. He owns the company, and he can help you out with all of it. That's the best thing about working with Renaissance, is that you can work with the owner start to finish on your new pool, on your outdoor kitchen. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. Check them out online, builtbyrenaissance.com. Koki Riley with the Advocate, been with the LSU baseball team start to finish this year as they polish off the 8th national title in program history. He joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Koki, how we doing?
Doing pretty well. Back in Baton Rouge. How are you?
I'm doing quite well as well. It's a good night's sleep in the home front bed last night for me. Hope the same for you. Look, I could go any number of ways talking about this, but at what point this year did you feel like, okay, this team might have what it takes?
I think the championship felt like a probability after the Arkansas win, the first Arkansas win.
Okay.
Because they just needed to beat them once in 2 games. They were going to be a pretty heavy favorite against UCLA or whoever came out of the other side of the bracket. But before that, it just always felt like something was going to get in their way to stop them from being the champions. You know, there was just too much evidence that the offense was a little touch and go. There's a little too much evidence that their bullpen could blow up at any moment potentially. And it just never felt like they were always necessarily the best team. And I was obviously wrong about that, and they ended up winning the entire thing. And I think this championship is just so impressive on so many different levels from Jay Johnson's perspective, where you got a completely different team just 2 years later, and then you still lead them to the title. Completely different everything. It's just, as you know, it's just so impressive what they did here this year.
It is on a lot of different fronts, and I think the most important thing is one of the things that I wrote about after it was all done was just how much they had to replace on the pitching staff last year, really almost everything, and that they did that incredibly well with the portal and the development of the guys they had in the program. How much credit do you give Nate Yeske for what they did and accomplished this year?
I think you have to give him just a boatload of credit. I mean, I think being in year 2 with these guys, you think you're going to get like a big boost from that, right? Just like year 2 in his system to bring back a lot of the same pitchers. That wasn't the case with this team. He didn't even get the benefit of getting Gavin Guidry back. Honestly, it was just Cade Anderson and DJ Primo for the most part, right? So, to basically have no innings coming back from last season, or not that many, and to still put together the pitching staff that he has and have 2 completely different top of the rotation aces. They've gone 2 years in a row now where their top 2 starters are as good, if not better, than everybody else's. And it's not like the same 2 guys that came back the next season. It was 2 completely different guys. So, again, like that combined with the improvement of the pitching depth this season, you just have to give him credit. You just have to give him credit. You have to give credit to Jay Johnson as well for not just bringing in Yeski, but for also just recruiting these guys and, getting multiple guys out of the bullpen or going out and throwing out 100. And they're not even like your top guys. So, or even like the development of freshmen like Cooper Williams just being absolutely huge against the Little Rock game, or just what Casey Evans did the entire season. It's pretty remarkable. Not every guy hit, but because it's impossible for that to happen. This is sports; things are hard. But obviously enough of a hit for this team to win the title, and for the pitching to lead them along the way.
No doubt. Anderson and Ianson, to me, were the backbone of the entire team. Anderson was not a dominant arm much of last year unless he was facing Southeastern Louisiana. What do you think made the biggest difference for him?
I just think he was probably closer to busting out than we figured he was. I remember talking to one scout, and he thought that the first time he saw him, and this was like in January of not this past year, but last year, he thought, okay, this guy's going to be a top 10 pick. And I didn't really see it. Honestly, I was like, okay, like, it's not like he throws 100 or something, and he's good breaking stuff, but it's not. I didn't see. I saw a very good curveball. I didn't know if I saw the best curveball I've ever seen. I didn't see William Schmidt on the mound. But I think what he saw and what we're seeing now is just the ability to have multiple different pitches, throw them off for strikes. And I think the addition of the extra breaking ball really, really helped him. Where he kind of has now a dominant offering to get lefties out, something that can go away from lefties. And now he is. I mean, when you have 2 completely different arsenals for both sides of the plate, that really, really helped him. And I don't know. I just feel like him and his connection with the SD also obviously really, really helped. But that kid's got a lot of ability. He can spin the ball in a way that not a lot of people can, and that's kind of his superpower. That and his command, obviously. And if he can do those 2 things with a fastball that's just fast enough, he's going to be in pro baseball pretty soon. I mean, if he's in the major leagues next year, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Jay Johnson, either at this point. You talk to these guys a couple times a week after games and whatnot, and a lot has been made in the press conferences about their togetherness and their toughness and their how much they liked each other and assumed their roles. How much did that impress you, and is there any specific person or role that you enjoyed throughout the year?
That's a good question. I'd say, this team did feel a little bit more solid together, whatever you want to call it, than last year's team. And I think that, someone like Michael Braswell was just really, really impressive. I know he had a really good interview with you guys yesterday. But I think at one point toward the beginning of the year when he started to lose some playing time to Reeves, he said that he doesn't care if he starts, just flat out. And you don't really hear that a whole ton. And then combine that with just the way that he's sort of gone about the massive slump that he did during the postseason. It's just really, really impressive. And they had enough guys like that to sort of make up for the fact that they were in a situation where you'd figure there'd be a lot of personalities and agendas going into it, right? Because when you're adding so many players to the transfer portal and new incoming freshmen, you don't know what you're going to get. And that's what makes this team and this championship so impressive, is that they had all these guys who needed to learn what Jay Johnson wants, not just on the field but also off the field. And credit to Johnson, maybe there's some luck involved in this as well, and the fact that like none of that stuff that you'd figure would happen when it comes to those agendas happened. And I just find that's probably the most impressive part about this entire thing, where again, you would have figured that a couple of dominoes would have fell in the wrong direction there when you're adding so many new pieces, but that just really wasn't the case.
As of Thanksgiving, I did not have a very good feel for the catcher spot, and Luis Hernandez just, in my opinion, turned in a really good year. What did you think of his performance over the course of the season?
Yeah, he was really good this season, and it's amazing how solid he was, despite the fact that he basically barely caught in college. And that was such a question mark heading into this season, that position. And it seemed like it was almost anyone's position. We thought Blaze Priester had a shot. We thought Kate Arambidi had a shot. We thought Kate Arambidi was going to be the person that they wanted to grow into the role eventually this season. And now he's just going to be the person for next year, it looks like. They needed someone to, give them sort of almost like a bridge here in a way, like a veteran who could do the job defensively. And he's just been rock solid. He's done a pretty good job of blocking balls. His framing seemingly got better as the year went along. LSU did a pretty good job of holding runners from a pitching standpoint, but his arm was good enough to where, it could sort of tamper down the running game a little bit. So, no, he was really good. But they just needed a solid defender back there who also, wasn't a total zero at the plate. And that's exactly what he gave them. And he also gave them some really, really big hits that when they absolutely needed them most. So, yeah, that was definitely an addition that worked. Even though he didn't hit 20-odd home runs like he did in Indiana State, that was unrealistic given the load that he was going to be asked for defensively. And even still, he came up with some big hits offensively.
No doubt. It looks like, based on today, that Jay Johnson, Josh Jordan, Nate Yeske, Mark Wanaka, and Jamie Tucko all back next year. How big a deal is the staff continuity that's kind of eluded Jay Johnson since he's been here?
That'd be pretty huge. And I'd add probably Chris Martin, the head strength coach, and Isaac Trujillo, the athletic trainer, into that as well. They've had a whirlwind of different strength coaches since Jay's come on board. I think they've had a different one every single season, at least the last three before heading into this year. But if they can get Martin to stay at least for a couple of years, that's big, because him and Trujillo did a really good job of keeping this team healthy this year. Because if you think about it, I guess Dickinson played through an injury, but really they had two injuries. One was an off-season injury well before the season even started, and the other one was a mystery Guidry injury that didn't. I think they had trouble even dissecting what it even was for a while there. But yeah, that's it though. This team was remarkably healthy for the second year in a row, and obviously people should start knocking on wood right now as I say that. But I was kind of expecting at least a few more injuries this year because of how healthy they were last year too, and that just wasn't the case. And I think those guys have some credit to do with it. But to actually answer the crux of your question, yeah, it's absolutely massive. Josh Jordan is kind of the beating heartbeat of the recruiting side of this thing. Yes, there's obviously his value as an actual coach as well, but the recruiting side is just so massive to what this team does in terms of their success, whether it's in the portal or from a high school recruiting sense. One, obviously they've been extremely successful in the portal, but they have the number one recruiting class in the country heading into this draft.
Yeah.
How many of these guys they're going to actually get? I don't know. it's probably even more of a question mark than it was last season. But because there's a lot of guys in that recruiting class who could easily get picked, but there are also not a lot of like slam dunk Connor Griffins either.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff in the air anyway. But like he's so critical to what they do. We already talked about Yeski, and then at the same time, like as long as they have Jay Johnson, they're going to be fine. But if you want to like maximize your chances of winning the title next year, like you need those other guys. So I feel like their staff is in just a really, really good spot right now.
Awesome job all year, especially up in Omaha. We'll do it one more time, kind of talking about the roster for next year. I didn't want to do that today because this is a day about celebrating these guys. But we'll chat one more time, and then we'll release you for the summer if that's all right with you.
That sounds good.
All right, Cookie, we appreciate it. He's Cookie Riley with The Advocate. Did an awesome job up in Omaha and really all year long covering the team. Gave us some time on Wednesdays. He mentioned something there. This is just part of some of the advantages that LSU has, and it just dawned on me when he was talking there. I think Duke wanted Josh Jordan to be its head coach. And Duke has made 3 supers recently. They were in a super this year. They're in the ACC. And they could not hire LSU's recruiting coordinator away to be their head coach, really based on money. LSU is able to pay Josh Jordan enough to stay here and help assemble the roster that he couldn't go be an ACC head coach. Like, that's the difference here and at a couple other places. I'm sure that Mississippi State's made that kind of commitment now. I'm sure Texas can do that if they want. Arkansas can do that if they want. Tennessee's done a great job of keeping their staff together. They've had the same 3 guys really doing everything up there for the last 4 years for Donnie Vitello. So, I mean, like Josh Elander at Tennessee is a rock star in the hitting front and the recruiting front, and no one's hired him yet. But that's part of the deal here, that you can offer things that most programs and universities and athletic departments aren't willing to do. And that's why you get a leg up here. Now, you got to go do it. Jay Johnson is not just winning national championships here because LSU's got a large budget, but it certainly helps win national championships, and Jay would admit that. And so that's just having Josh Jordan back for another year to talk some of these guys through the draft that he got committed and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a big deal, and it's a very, very advantageous place to coach, and that's just part of it. So let's come back and do some What If Wednesday. If you're in the Bayou 4 chat, fire some of those at us. We'll get some of the ones that I saw on Twitter as well. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, bathroom can be a hazardous place. We know that. Especially as folks age, can have falls, and they can be really, really, really bad situations. You can never take that risk away, but you can help mitigate against it. So if that dawns on you, you go, that may be something I want to look into. Just talk to David Vaughn and his team at One Bath and Closets. They've been doing this for 30 years. Non-slip floors, handrails around slippery areas, walk-in tubs, showers with benches. All that is something that they're happy to help you with. And if you're thinking about, payment, not what I'm looking for right, well, they got payment plans available, 0% up to 18 months. Start with a free consultation. That part doesn't cost you a cent, and let David talk you through what they can do. It's One Bath and Closets, and you can find them online at onebathandclosets.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Wednesday shows brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools, built by Renaissance.com. Get in touch with Joey Blanchard directly at 225-252-7745. That outdoor kitchen, especially that swimming pool. It's hot out there. Just think if you had a swimming pool in the backyard. You've always thought about it. Renaissance Homes and Pools has built them for dozens and dozens of folks throughout the Baton Rouge area for decades. They can help you with it as well. Built by Renaissance.com. All right, what if Wednesday?
Time, space, reality. It's more than a linear path. Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities. Follow me and ponder the question, what if?
Alrighty, first one here. What if Jacob Mizorowski and Grant Taylor both played at LSU in 2023? What would the rotation look like? And what do you think LSU's record would have been?
Yeah, I think we did this in a couple of weeks ago.
I think so. Well, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer than that. But
it's I mean, Mizorowski's lighting the league on fire.
It's coming up
right
because
now.
Skeens is facing Mizorowski today.
Right. I mean, it'd been good. It'd have been really good if you kept Shores healthy, throwing 98 at 6'9". I mean, they couldn't have been much better than they were. I think that team was 19-10 in SEC play with a rain out at South Carolina. You know, I don't have any problem tacking 3 or 4 onto that. I mean, if you've got, instead of trotting guys out there on Sunday that you didn't really have a lot of trust in early in the SEC season, to throw Grant Taylor out there, yeah, I mean, I think that it's completely realistic to say if they played 29 SEC games, they could have gone 23-6 with those guys.
All right, next one here. What if Omaha was well known for broccoli instead of steak?
My dinner bills would have been cheaper.
Yeah.
And I love broccoli, but I don't know how good you can make it. I'd rather just have a big old hunk of beef. I probably would have had a steak with the famous broccoli if that were the case. But yeah, good beef up there at Omaha. I will say, because I gave a lot of places to go in Omaha, and I wrote a piece on LouisianaSports.net, which was somehow, I think, the highest read thing I wrote from Omaha was an LSU fan's guide to Omaha. I had a steakhouse that I did not list on there because I'd never been. We went to Omaha Prime in the old Market District after the championship game. It was great. A great meal at Omaha Prime. So file that one away, Tiger fans. You're going to head back up there. It was literally 1 block from the team hotel. So good spot.
All right, next one here. What if the 2023 and 2025 LSU teams played a 3-game series?
So Hey, look, Anderson and Ianson are going to be tough on everybody, but Skeens is too. And I, as awesome as Cade was and as legendary as his efforts were, I'm still going to take Skeens and the 23 team over Anderson and the 25 team in game 1 of that series. Then you've got Floyd against Ianson, and now I think that's a real fair fight. I think that's going to be a really, really good baseball game. At that point, I am probably still going to favor the 23 team because I just think that offense was better and more complete. I mean, you think about what LSU's offense did in the championship series against Coastal Carolina. They scored 1 run in the first game and only scored in 2 of the 9 innings. They were the visitor team. 2 of the 9 innings the next day. They put a 4 spot up, which was great. But I favor the 23 team to win it. I would not be stunned if Anderson or Ianson got a win there, and then you could potentially go to game 3. And if you're giving me that's Case and Evans against some sort of Riley Cooper, Ackenhausen, Thatcher Hurd deal, it's game on. But I think the 23 team was better, and I would favor them to win 2 of the 3 games at least.
All right, let's do one more here. What if the Coastal coach hadn't got ejected?
I don't think that was going to matter. This is a good question. I know a couple of college baseball coaches, and I might be able to do some research on this in the offseason. Do we think when college baseball coaches or Major League Baseball managers get ejected that they're still calling the shots from the clubhouse?
That's what I was thinking. We were all talking about,
he's
got a walkie-talkie or something.
Go change pitchers. I doubt that the NCAA is sending a rep back down there to make sure that you're sitting on your hands and being a good Boy Scout. I think you just got to get out of the dugout, and then can we make some moves from the clubhouse?
Just think about it, because coaches already have walkie-talkies anyway, so it's not like they would have to pull it out from somewhere and start using it. I'm sure they probably have a backup walkie-talkie somewhere in the back of the clubhouse, and they can just go get it, and the coach can talk to them.
I mean, certainly coaches do a lot. You know how often Jay calls offensive timeouts and wants to do things, and you couldn't do that if you're ejected. I don't think it would have mattered for Coastal in that game, and maybe that's naive of me. I don't really know much about their coaching staff and how they do things just in terms of their process. But I do want to find out when coaches get ejected if they are quick to be able to communicate with the dugout.
All right,
I mean, Bobby Valentine's putting on a disguise and coming back in the dugout, which makes me believe that maybe at that point there wasn't a way to do it and you just needed to come in to get it done. But none of that these days.
All right, last one real quick. What if Arkansas forces Dave Van Horn? This doesn't seem realistic. They're not going to force Dave Van Horn. We're not going to do that one because that's not even – I mean, okay, I guess just for what if's sake, let's say what if Arkansas forces Dave Van Horn out and brings Tony Vitello to Fayetteville?
He'd do great there. I don't think he would make the move.
Yeah.
Now, Arkansas is interesting because they don't have a championship. So if you're looking at Mississippi State or Texas or Florida, where they have one, and whether he would leave Tennessee. But the thing with Vitello is they're building him the palace from Tennessee's perspective, and he's got NIL donors ready to go. Now, that may change in terms of the NIL thing because you can't just write blank checks anymore. You could, as of a month ago, just pay whatever you want to anybody. Now that stuff's got to be cleared over $600, but he's got the support and the infrastructure behind him at Tennessee. So Arkansas is an easier place to win, I think, but not significantly because he's got it rolling there at Tennessee, and Tennessee's got more good baseball players than Arkansas does, and they've got the NIL base to get it done. So I don't think he's ever leaving Tennessee, is my guess. I think you've got right now a deal where Tony Vitello, Jay Johnson,
Schlossnagle.
Yeah, he's a little bit older, but yeah. I think he has not been as prolific as those two guys. He's never won the title, but he's put together a lot of really good teams over time. So I think those three are really positioned very nicely at this point. And I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't put O'Sullivan and Corbin in that boat just yet, because this is a little bit of a different era than they were doing great things in. So I would still bet on Florida having a good baseball program. I think Tennessee was, I think Vanderbilt was a little bit smoke and mirrors this year. But I think that Vitello, Johnson, and Schlossnagle are probably the three with Van Horn that I would bet on over the next 5 years. So we'll see. That's it for What If Wednesday. We will step aside. We'll come back and a really special announcement that we'll make at the end. If you're looking for some commemorative things to talk about this 2025 National Championship squad, we got that for you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is that website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. Every single new purchase, 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. All of them. Every single new purchase comes with a 3-year complimentary maintenance guarantee. And that comes with valet maintenance, meaning they'll come and get your vehicle. It's a luxury brand at a reasonable price. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. Their own airline at Pico. If you're in the market for a new vehicle and you're here in Baton Rouge, you're probably going to be on airline. Just make one more stop right there at Genesis of Baton Rouge. Chat with their brand ambassadors. Look at the phenomenal inventory that they've got on the lot. Make that purchase and see the difference that Genesis of Baton Rouge can make. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge, and you can find them online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com.
Bayou Ford is taking $11,000 off MSRP with 4.9% for 60 months on the new 2025 Ford F-150 XLT, plus the complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
I really like when we get to have this next conversation. Anytime we have Bob Ibeck on the show, that means something really good has happened here in Baton Rouge. We know that something very good did happen over the weekend. LSU, the national champions of college baseball, for the 8th time in program history. If you'd like to commemorate that occasion with something that means a lot to you and maybe somebody that you love, well, we got something for you. We welcome Bob Ibeck of Nyco Sports to the show. Bob, thanks for some time. How are you?
I'm doing great, but listening to you guys up here in the Chicago area, good show today. I really enjoyed the conversation and the comparisons between this team and the 23 team that you were doing. And I know my son was probably listening too. He's the assistant general manager with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he had some of his scouts out there at the in Omaha. He was telling me, he says, "Dad, He says there's going to be 4 or 5 kids on that team that are going to be big leaguers, and I know he was eyeing Chase Shores in that 6'8" frame, throwing 101 miles an hour. He's going to be a good pitcher, I believe, in Major League Baseball. And your fan base has got to be so excited. I know the Cubs is going to be celebrating over at the school tonight at 7 o'clock, I think it is. And we wanted to go ahead and reach out to your listeners about a great opportunity to keep this memory alive for years to come. And I'm talking about a fully licensed baseball that celebrates the championship win over Coastal Carolina, a team that had come in to the tournament having won 26 consecutive games. Only 2,025 of these baseballs, which are fully licensed, you'll get a numbered certificate of authenticity, will be made. The baseballs are going to be put inside of a really nice, handsome acrylic display case with a gold base, priced at only $49.95. And again, with the low number, and I think coming into your show, we're well over halfway sold out. I think you need to act on this pretty soon because these will sell out as they did a couple of years ago. Before I give out that phone number and website, I want to point out that on various parts of the baseball, it will have the Tiger Eye logo there. Right across the sweet spot, it'll say 2025 National Champions, right next to the LSU logo. And then we have some Alex Box Stadium facts on another portion of the ball, a Tiger Head logo there. And it's a season to remember for sure, going through and having I think it was a 53-15 record for Coach Jay Johnson. And he's done a fantastic job. He's the first coach, I believe, to win 2 titles in his first 4 years as a head coach. And I think with the program the way it's set up, he'll be back in that hunt again for sure because the SEC has won the title 6 straight years and 11 of the last 16. And people who went out there and I've talked to them, they said, "Boy, what a sea of colors, purple and yellow all over the place out there. It's like Baton Rouge West when they get to the stadium." So if you want to go ahead and order this, we have 2 ways. Again, these are only $49.95. You'll get the display case with it, a numbered certificate of authenticity, and only 2,025 will ever be made. So I know a lot of folks have been buying multiples and using them for, maybe a birthday gift idea or anniversary. Or one guy told me he bought 12 of them and is giving it out to his Little League team. So each one of the kids on the squad have something to look forward to and aspire maybe someday they'll be coming out to Nebraska and playing in that big event. Here's the phone number to call to get these. It's 800-345-2868. That's 800-345-2868. Or just go right to the website. You can see the LSU baseball right there. It's beautiful with that gold base. NICOsports.com. NIKCOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com, or 800-345-2868. Do it soon because these will be gone. They're not being sold, anywhere in your area or at stores. It's exclusive to Nico Sports, and it is a beautiful one. I've got the one from a couple of years ago, and certainly I have a man cave, not only with my stuff from my years with the Chicago Cubs, and also I covered the Baltimore Orioles as a sports writer in the 70s, but I got a whole corner of my man cave just devoted to LSU.
We love to hear that, and this is going to be an incredible opportunity if you want to jump on. Again, he mentioned his phone number, 800-345-2868, and NICOsports.com, NIKCOsports.com. Bob, always great to talk with you. We appreciate a little bit of time.
Listen, you guys have a great day and enjoy the rest of the week, and I'm sure we'll be talking, again sometime in the near future, whether it's football, basketball, and baseball. You guys have monster teams down there.
It's been a lot of fun. A lot of good things have happened here over the last 5 years, and we appreciate you all for being a part of it. Thanks for some time.
Okay. Have a good day now.
You too. That is Bob Iback with Nyco Sports. Got a great opportunity there to buy something about $50. You can go ahead and put that in the man cave on the trophy case as a gift, wherever the case may be. Really good looking baseball there. So go check it out on the website, nikcosports.com. Got a great logo, and I'm excited to see the reveal of the LSU championship logo on the Intimidator tonight. I'm assuming they will do things tonight the way they did it 2 years ago, where they did not redo the Intimidator for this night. You can't do it in 2 days. They will put the logo of this championship team on the Intimidator tonight, and then it'll be remocked up and a new one will be revealed for next season. I don't know if that'll be for the fall of next year when they get it up, or if they want to do some sort of reveal on opening night, whatever the case may be. They've got to put a new fresh paint coat on that thing, because they've got another title, the second in 3 years. So a lot of opportunity to do cool things like that, and we appreciate Bob for giving us a little bit of time here on this Wednesday. That's it for hour number 1. When we come back, we got some things to talk about Saints-wise and some more LSU baseball to get to as well. We'll pause for our national headlines with Sports Center, come back with hour number 2. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools right here on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioneer Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Sportsbooks have Cooper Flagg in rare air for tonight's NBA draft. The former Duke star's odds to be the number one pick reach minus 100,000 at multiple sportsbooks this morning. Mavericks have the top overall pick. Draft coverage 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern ABC and ESPN. The Rockets declining guard Fred VanVleet's $45 million team option for next season. He intends to sign a 2-year, $50 million contract to stay in Houston, which recently bolstered its roster with the Kevin Durant trade. VanVleet helped key the Rockets' turnaround into a playoff contender the last 2 seasons. ESPN NBA senior writer Andre Snellings.
He's a good player. He's a player that the team needs. VanVleet was the one player this past playoffs that seemed to give them a chance to beat the Warriors, right? And so now they're bringing in KD, and they're bringing back, they've given the coach an extension. They were already a good young team on the way up. Now they're really leaning into wanting to be a contender.
Andre Snellings on Joe and Q. Baseball. Pirates ace Paul Skeens, 4 runs, 4 hits. Pirates trail the Brewers 4-zip, top 3.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Top 10 moments of this LSU baseball season, as I see it, in 15 minutes. Get your reaction to some of that as well. But I want to start with the New Orleans Saints here. There's been a little bit of Saints news over the last 72 hours, and we just haven't gotten to it because there's a lot of LSU baseball to talk about. So I want to get into a little bit of it here with the news that the Saints added a cornerback 3 days ago, over the weekend. And it's an interesting story because Jaden Price comes from the FCS and comes from the UFL. The saying goes, like, in the NFL, if you can play, they'll find you. Like, it's easy if you're a 5-star recruit and you go to play at Bama and you're an All-American, like, they'll find you there. But if you're really good, like, they'll find you. And I'm not here telling you that I think Jaden Price is going to be an All-Pro, but he is getting opportunities. He was not drafted in 2024. The Falcons signed him. They released him right before the season started, and he went out and he played great in the UFL for the Arlington Renegades, of course. I know all of you are well-versed in your UFL teams, but played for the Arlington Renegades and had a good year. Started all 10 games. I didn't know it was 10 games either, but it was a spring football. Had 13 passes broken up, which led the UFL. And one thing that I also liked, he led the team with kick returns. So that shows me a guy that's a pretty good athlete, and he had some good ball skills because he got his hands on the ball 13 times. Now, I'm not here to scout Jalen Price or tell you whether or not he's going to make the team, but I do think it is worth talking about the Saints at cornerback. Because for the last, let's call it 6 years, the Saints have put out really good corners. Lattimore, when healthy, all-pro type player. Adebo was absolutely a hit in the draft. And you had C.D. Deuce for a minute there, who was a good player. Say what you will about loving his personality or not liking his personality or not liking what he was traded for, whatever. Like, he was a good player. And that was a strength under Dennis Allen. Like, every coach has something to hang his hat on. And while I don't want to reduce Dennis Allen down to just a good evaluator of corners, he's a great defensive coach and defensive mind. But one of the things that he did very well, even as a head coach, was draft, develop, and play DBs, specifically corners. And that's why I still have hopes that Alontae Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry are really good players, because Dennis Allen handpicked them. Now, he won't be here to develop them moving forward, but he did handpick them, which gives me confidence that they've got real ability. Now, that doesn't say anything about this signing, because Dennis Allen didn't have anything to do with it. But I do believe that it is fair to look at the Saints at cornerback right now and go, how much confidence we got here? And I could listen to someone who says a lot. Like, I think these guys are really talented. And I could listen to, like, this is a huge step down from Lattimore and Adebo. We'll see in time. But what can't be argued is that Alontae Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry and Price and what they've got on the field entering training camp is very young. It's young and it's cheap. You dealt Lattimore in his big contract. You haven't gone out and signed a big money corner. You've got affordable young assets, and that's the crux of everything I've been talking about with the Saints for the last year and a half. So if they are hits and you can get these guys to the field and they do produce, and I'm not even telling you that Price is going to make the team. He probably, the odds are he won't. He's an undrafted player who was cut by the Falcons and played in the UFL. But I like some of the things that I see on his resume, from the athleticism, the ball skills, the fact that he was picked up quickly after the draft, and the Saints have room there to improve and get better. And I'm all for taking on these young players that have some upside. Like, if you want to go get Asante Samuel on a 1-year deal, like, that's good. That's fine. You got some money to spend. Like, I'm fine with that. He's got a little bit of size, and he's a veteran, and he can help you and help bring these guys along. But for the first time in better than half a decade, you have big questions at corner. And it's one of the things that I'll be watching very, very closely. Like, quarterback's going to steal the show. How the offensive line actually gels is going to steal the show. But I think probably after that, I'm looking at corner. Because, like, the guys you're banking on being on the next good Saints team are on this team. I don't think you're banking on Tyrann Mathieu being on the next good Saints team. I don't think you're banking on Cam Jordan being on the next great Saints team. Same thing probably said for Mario Davis. Certainly Taysom Hill. Maybe even Alvin Kamara. I hope not, but maybe even Alvin Kamara. Probably not Foster Moreau. Like, you've moved on from Ryan Ramczyk and Derek Carr's gone. And, like, I'm looking at players that could be on the next really good Saints team. And at corner, you may have that. And so how those guys play really matters. Really matters. And so I'm fascinated by how that situation gels, and I can't go into it with the confidence I did with Dennis Allen making the calls back there. Like, there are very few things Saints fans are going to be able to step back and go, yeah, he was good at that. Like, very few. I understand the animus, and I understand the feeling on a new regime coming in. But if you're going to denigrate Dennis Allen for his defensive back play, like, that's probably a bridge too far. So now, can you pick up where he left off? Do you have the players and the coaching staff to make that happen? And, like, I'm giving Tyler Shook significant grace period here. And I'm giving Kellen Moore a little bit of grace period here. But, like, cornerback, I'm not really giving much grace. Like, if Alontae Taylor can't go out there this year and play really good football, like, the odds that he plays really good football, like, right after, it's not very good. Like, you may just have missed on a guy that you were hoping was going to be a potential Pro Bowl corner that you took early in the draft. if Kool-Aid McKinstry goes out there this year in his first year really on the outside making plays as a corner, if he goes out there and is cooked, that's a red flag. But if those guys assume these new roles for the first time full-time this year and you start to see, oh, there's some plays being made, like you're starting to lay some foundation. Like, what a great possibility that lies between now and Christmas, where you could have a quarterback that's making strides, an offensive line that is completely solidified, and defensive backs that you know are the cornerstones of the outside of your defense moving forward. Like those three positions, and wide receiver, which I think you're one guy away from. I think you're number one away from that. But like, you know what Olave and Shaheed are, and they're pretty young and pretty cheap. But the other three positions I mentioned, like, you could have some real solid foundations for the rest of the team right there. You got work to do on the defensive line. You got work to do, I think, at safety. You got work to do at linebacker. You don't know what you have beyond Kamara at running back. But I think that offensive line, Shook, and corner are spots that I'm looking at for big jumps this year. Quarterback's asking a lot, but you're living on a hope there. And I think that's exciting. But the other two, you would really be disappointed if you didn't get the level of play that you expect at this point in the calendar. So I don't know if Price is going to make the team or not. I just wanted to mention that he joins a young room that's got some talented guys. This guy, when given the opportunity to go play professionally, say what you will about the UFL, I'm not an expert on how great a level of play that is. There have certainly been some guys who come from that level that have helped teams. I'm not asking for the Pro Bowl. I may be asking for a special teamer who can come in and play slot corner, come in and play nickel. They need those defensive backs to step up this year for that defense to get back to getting close to the level they were at under Dennis Allen, and way better than this past year where it was one of the worst defenses in the league. So there's my look at the New Orleans Saints here to crank up our number 2. Let's pause. We'll come back. I've got the top 10 moments of the LSU National Championship baseball season coming up next. Give some thought to who you think or what moments you think qualify for that, and we'll run through those coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Brought to you by Renaissance. This is the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
All right, let's get into a little trip. It's a short memory lane, but we'll get down the lane of the memory of this 2025 National Championship team. I've got the top 10 moments. I intentionally excluded like the double play to win the national championship. Like, yeah, that's a match. Like the single Curiel smoked up the middle in game 2 of the national championship. Like, yeah, in the most important game, every little play feels a lot more important than anything that happened in March. But I included some College World Series, certainly. I don't have any from the final game. I think that kind of goes without saying. So let me get into this and go through my favorite top 10 moments of this LSU baseball season as it finished with a national championship. Number 10, cool thing that many people may have forgotten about. Not necessarily a game that had a lot of drama. LSU played North Alabama back in February. And both Pearsons hit a home run in that game. LSU hit 6 in the game, but Josh and John each homered. It was the first time brothers had homered in the same game since Clay and Will Harris in 2005. The Jordan brothers didn't quite get that done when they were on the same team back in 2015, 16, 17. Bryce missed one of those years, but yeah, the Pearsons, home runs in the same game. That's my number 10 moment of this season. Number 9, just maybe this was because I was there in person and it just felt like a big deal. I don't think a lot of people would immediately point to this, but Mississippi State knocked Cade Anderson around in game 1 of that series. And he gave up 3 home runs in the first 4 innings. He didn't make it out of the 5th. They scored in every inning against him. Mississippi State led the first game of that series 6-1 over LSU at the box. And then over the course of 3 hitters, Daniel Dickinson hit a 3-run homer into the left field seats. And then after Josh Pearson walked, Stephen Milam hit a home run to take the lead in that game. And LSU never trailed in that series again. And that just felt like a big moment early in the season when your ace faltered for 2 guys to come up with big 5 runs worth of homers over the course of 3 hitters. And so I thought that was a big moment in the season. That's number 9 on the list. A lot of folks may have forgotten about this one as well, all the way back to February for this one, the last day in February. LSU was in Frisco, Texas, and there's a little bit of an interesting twist to this one as well. They were in Frisco, Texas on the Friday game, and Kansas State gave LSU all the Tigers wanted there. And they actually had the winning run on first base in the game. And there was a double that was hit to left field by Chase Dardar, LSU commitment, who had taken Cade Anderson deep earlier in the game in Frisco. and he hits a double to left field. Josh Pearson picks up the ball, gets it into Stephen Milam. Milam throws out the winning run in the bottom of the ninth at home plate via the relay. And then Dardar's on second base, ground ball to the right side. Daniel Dickinson makes a diving stab and gets the runner at first base to extend that game. LSU would score 3 in the 10th and win it. But Kansas State had the winning run coming home from third base thanks to a big hit from a future Tiger. And LSU got those 2 outs and won the game. I thought that was a really cool defensive moment in Frisco. That's number 8 moment of the season. Number 7, College Station, Texas. Game 2 of a doubleheader on Saturday. Anthony Ianson, 14 strikeouts. Complete game. Beats Texas A&M 2-1 in a sensational pitching performance that I think kind of solidified Ianson as a dominant number 2 in the sport. You go to College Station, you're facing LaViolette, you're facing Caden Sorrell, you're facing all those guys that have been great hitters for Texas A&M for a couple of seasons, and Ianson just shut him down in a complete game effort that was like 108 pitches, I think, to win Game 2. And it was just after you had lost Game 1 of the doubleheader with Anderson on the mound. You lost 2-1. LSU didn't do a lot offensively in that game against A&M and beat them 3-1 behind Ianson. So Ianson's complete game was awesome. Number 7 moment. Number 6 moment, complete game shutout. Cade Anderson, 135 pitches against Kyson Witherspoon. That game on a Friday night in chilly Norman was billed as 2 potential first-round picks at that point. And we very much feel like they both are. Witherspoon was a more draftable prospect that day before the game. Now, Anderson, more draftable prospect after the course of the next probably 10 weeks or so of the season. But Anderson just dominated Oklahoma from start to finish. Sooners couldn't score a run. It was the first complete shutout that anybody at LSU had thrown in 2 seasons. And it was an awesome effort that really solidified Anderson as a true ace in the Southeastern Conference. And those 2 outings were really, really strong from those 2 dudes. Number 5 on this list, you could argue probably needs to be a little closer to number 1, but I'll put it at number 5 because the rest is a lot of postseason stuff. Jared Jones walk-off at 1:17 a.m. against Tennessee. You remember that LSU, that was the game they faced Liam Doyle. The game got delayed until 9 o'clock at night. LSU didn't score in the first 8 innings of the game. They were trailing 3-0 entering the 9th. Ground ball to third base, and Tennessee has a third baseman over there who couldn't find it. And he made a throwing error, and then they hit him a ball, and he made another error, and LSU all of a sudden kind of had something cooking. And with 1 out, you had the bottom of the order coming up with Braswell, and Jay Johnson was like, I just can't put him up there against Nate Snead, so we're going to have to go to the bench. Well, we've already used our left-handed pinch hitters and Ashton Larson and Josh Pearson. Well, we got to go to Dalton Beck. And he went to Dalton Beck, who lined it up the middle off of Nate Snead, one of the best relievers in college baseball, to keep the inning going. Chris Stanfield popped up, and then Derek Curiel comes up. 2 outs, tying run on second base, singles to right field to set up Jones, who hits it over the batter's eye at 1:17 a.m. to win it. LSU rallies for 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to beat Tennessee in incredible fashion. That's my number 5 moment of the year. Number 4, West Virginia was making things tough on Cade Anderson. They were getting some infield hits. They were scraping some runs together. And LSU just led 2-1, I believe, maybe 3-1 in that game. 3-1 in that game on Saturday, the first game of the Super. The Tigers loaded the bases. West Virginia had gone to the bullpen. They took Griffin Kern out. They put a freshman in Glasscock. He couldn't get out, so they went to another reliever. And Stephen Milam hits a grand slam down the right field line as a right-handed hitter, bang, into the seats. And that's a grand slam to put LSU up by 6 runs. And LSU was off and running in that game. You were going to get another grand slam from Josh Pearson an inning later. But I thought the grand slam from Stephen Milam to really separate in Game 1 with Anderson on the mound was a big, big swing for this team. So I'll give that number 4. Number 3 is one that I just don't think can be overstated. I think it was as important a play as there was in LSU's season. And it came in Monday of the regional. You know that Little Rock beat LSU 10-4 on Sunday, and Little Rock jumps out to a 5-run lead in the 4th inning of the Monday game, and the bases are loaded, and Ethan Fry digs in. And if Ethan Fry pops up to right field here, you are down 5-1 at a minimum. going to the 5th inning of that game on Monday. And being in the box that night, like, I could sense a little bit of tension. It wasn't full-blown panic, but there was tension in the air, like, is this team about to lose to Little Rock again? They got crushed last night. They're losing by 4 today. Like, what are we doing here? And you needed someone to step up and get the hit. And Fry pumps a double into the right center field gap, and it scores 3 runs, and you didn't even score again in that inning. But you cut it to 5-4. And at 5-4 in the 5th inning, you're sitting at the box going, this is still Little Rock. Evans is pitching. He looks good. Like, this is going to be fine. And it took all the tension out of the building on that Monday night. So to me, yes, you scored 1 in the 6th to tie it, scored 1 in the 7th, scored 1 in the 8th to take the lead, scored 3 in the 9th to take control and win the game. But the swing from Fry to take all the tension out of the Alec Bach air was a big deal. So give me Ethan Fry at number 3. Number 2, I've got Cade Anderson against Coastal getting that final out. Tying runs on first base. He issued a 3-1 walk with the changeup, and you bring the tying run to the plate the winning run, the go-ahead run to the plate in the 9th inning. And Cade's working, and gets the fly ball to right field to end it. But that's the complete game performance. It'll be Cade Anderson's last pitch at the college level, and it was sensational. It's a legendary performance, one we'll talk about as long as we talk about LSU baseball. You'll talk about Laxton, you'll talk about Floyd, you'll talk about Skeens Louder, and you will certainly talk about Cade Anderson, complete game shutout of Coastal Carolina. That's moment number 2. And you're going, how could you get any better than that if you're not going to include the national championship game on Sunday? Well, the 9th inning against Arkansas, in that 5 minutes where Lloyd doesn't turn the double play, and then Davalon misplays the ball in left, and then Jones walks it off with the hit, like all of that wrapped into one felt like the biggest deal. Because if you're an LSU fan, like, I'm going to guess, because I am one, and I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like I'm kind of simpatico with y'all in this way. Once you got over the Arkansas hurdle, it just wasn't quite as scary to me. Now, that may be stupid to say, because the way that Fluky pitched on Saturday for Coastal, shutting LSU down and pitching as well as he did, maybe it's foolish of me to think that Arkansas was a bigger threat, considering they had to beat LSU twice. But they just scared me more. I told you last Thursday and Friday and Saturday from Omaha, like, I don't think Coastal's going to score very much, because I don't think their offense is great. LSU's pitching is rested. Like, that's going to be fine. If Arkansas is around, and even if you got to throw Anderson on Thursday, he probably beats them. But maybe he doesn't, and your season's over. And if he does, you don't have Anderson for Coastal. You needed to get that thing done on Wednesday. And Arkansas had the lead. The 2-run single from Thomas off Myers felt like it. You go down 2, you're probably not coming back from that in the bottom of the 9th. But that comeback felt like the one that went, all right, Arkansas is gone. I got my pitching. It's LSU versus Coastal, and I just don't know if anybody is going to be really comfortable picking Coastal to beat LSU in that spot. So to me, the 9th inning, Aloy's misplay, Davalon's misplay, Jones's single, that is the seminal moment for this national championship team that set up a very winnable weekend against Coastal. So again, I'll go 10 through 1, kind of give you my thoughts on it one more time. Pearson, both Pearsons homer in a game against North Alabama. Very cool deal. Hadn't happened since 2005. Dickinson and Milam homering against Mississippi State in the same inning for 5 runs, take control of that series. The relay on defense against Chase Dardar and Kansas State to keep that game rolling in Frisco. Anthony Ianson, awesome performance in College Station, complete game. Cade Anderson, complete game shutout on 135 pitches at Oklahoma's number 6. Jared Jones, walk-off against the Vols, number 5. Stephen Milam, grand slam in the Super Regional to break it open in Game 1 is number 4. Number 3, Ethan Fry, 3-run double against Little Rock in the Monday Regional Final. Cade Anderson, shutout. Coastal Carolina Chanticleers in Game 1 is number 2. In the 9th inning against Arkansas, my number 1 moment of the season in 2025. Beck, you watched a lot of those. Are any of those completely out of whack?
No, I don't think so. I would. I don't know if there's really any. Yeah, I don't really know if there's any ones that.
Payson Evans. 9 strikeouts in a row against Little Rock.
Yeah, that was really good.
Casey Evans in the restart. Jared Jones 3-run homer against UCLA to take the lead.
Yes.
After you give up 3 runs in the first inning, he comes back and hits a homer to give you a 4-3 lead. Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bigger moment than the Pearsons hitting.
That's
hitting
just
home
cool.
runs.
That's really cool, but I don't know that it's.
I wanted to I could have just done the 10 moments of Omaha. I tried to get more in, and LSU tacked onto that. Plus, that Jones home run. That was at night. That was not. That was before the restart. The restart came when Evans pitched. But I felt like it was worth mentioning that those two guys did that. So I could come up. Stephen Milam's sliding play against UCLA was a sensational effort. Dickinson doing what he did with a broken hand is an incredible moment. I tried to do a little bit more with the entirety of the season. Jared Jones at number 5 is that against Tennessee, the walk-off homer over the batter's eye at 1 o'clock in the morning. Was that not high enough?
No, that's definitely high enough. I think if you could combine one moment, just all the 1 a.m. wins.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. The fact that LSU had all that happen, and then of course, the weather delays is just another story. But yeah, the 1 a.m. victory is definitely one of the best moments for sure.
One of my favorite things about baseball, you'll know this, and I'll certainly talk about it for opening day next year. I just love the journey. I love how there's so many twists and turns, and it's winding, and you don't really know, and you're always trying to find the next thing with the team. And we were always kind of looking for what's the Achilles heel. And if you were listening an hour ago when I talked to Koki, he was like, I just kind of felt like the bullpen would eventually falter. I kind of felt like the offense would go through a 2-day skid. And you could argue they did go through a 2-day skid against Coastal. They weren't great. They had 17 at-bats, 9 innings on Sunday and 8 at-bats on Saturday. And they scored, 6 runs? So they weren't great, but the pitching was so good that it didn't matter. And that's why baseball is such an amazing sport. So that's my thoughts. If you think I screwed that up big time, shoot me if you go to the Bayou Ford chat, I won't see it because I got a fried computer over here. But check that out on Twitter, and I'm going to write a piece about it with a little more detail on LouisianaSports.net coming up this afternoon. Step aside, come back with more. Half an hour to go on a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com. Every single model, all of them. Highest end, entry level, you name it, all of them, it applies. IIHA top safety picks. Top safety picks. Some of them top safety picks plus. If safety is important to you, then go ahead and go buy Genesis for your next car buying opportunity. You'll see the style, the comfort, all the bells and whistles. You'll experience the wonderful brand ambassadors and how they treat you when you go. You'll see the first-rate facility, the cleanest service aisle I've ever seen. All that's very obvious, but you won't know about the safety unless you just trust those that test that and take it very seriously. The IIHA certainly does that, and Genesis line has been recognized all the way through. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, check them out, Airline at Piku. Sedan, got you covered. SUV, got you covered. Pricing on the website, all there. Photographs too, and safety is a big deal at Genesis. Go by and see them. Airline at Piku. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. You can find them online at genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Hanny texted in, had a good suggestion. I remember it. I didn't have time to look it up because he just sent it. But Ashton Larson hit a pinch hit homer. He said it was against Bama. I remember it. It was into the right field seats, and he hadn't gotten a hit in a month when he went up there. And I was covering that game. It was probably I don't know. Was it Bama? Yeah, because I covered the Thursday game. Me, my dad, and Myers went to the Friday game for his first game, and then I went to the beach on Saturday. And that was the last game of that series, and Shores got knocked around in the last one of that series. So if that would make sense if it was Thursday. And I did post game interviews, so that makes sense. It would have been the first game against Bama. That's one that could certainly make the list.
It was game one there.
Yep. Yeah, that was a huge. And Jay
Wait, no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's not Bama.
No, well, at least it wasn't Thursday. Or wait.
It would have had to have been Thursday if it was Bama, because Friday, me and my dad and Myers
Oh,
went.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Thursday.
It was Larson.
Okay.
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a good one. I remember that because I mean LSU was down and he went to Larson, who hadn't gotten a hit in a month.
They're down 5-1. Yeah,
hadn't gotten a hit since like February 17th, like opening day, and he crushed one into the right center field seats. I may amend my top moments and put that one in. That was a big swing for sure. I want to play a couple of dumb games. Back, are you down for that?
All right.
First dumb game, loudest ovation at the championship celebration tonight, outside of Jay Johnson, for the players. Because if they do it like they did 2 years ago, every player will walk in from right field.
Yeah.
Who gets the loudest ovation?
I mean, I would say Kate Anderson probably.
He's one of the two picks. It's Anderson or Josh Pearson. Josh Pearson gets massive ovations. He was getting massive ovations in Omaha.
Yeah, that was whenever Jake Brown had that interview before they went, and he said that's the loudest I've ever heard a crowd after a 3-pitch strikeout.
I mean, Dickinson will get a big round of applause. Jared Jones, Ianson will get a huge round of applause. Curiel will get a huge round, like all the guys who started and played a ton. Kason Evans.
If Derek Curiel's dog Bo went out, he would probably get the loudest ovation. Honestly,
so I didn't watch any of the games on TV.
Yeah,
obviously,
so you didn't see that.
I didn't see how much Bo exposure there was.
It was
but
a lot.
I'm told it was a significant amount.
A very large. It wasn't as much as Kim Mulkey and Kramer Robertson, but it was a lot.
Yeah, I did not catch a lot of that. But I would say it's Anderson and Josh Pearson. Braswell will get a huge ovation as well. And all those guys just very well. Shores should get a huge ovation. So that'll be good. Here's the next really dumb game. I want you to think about this. So is $100 important to you?
Yeah.
Okay. That was kind of muted. How about $200?
Yes.
That's important. Okay. So if I tell you, you have to tell me from this point forward, how many national championships is Jay Johnson going to win at LSU? And for every one that you're off, you owe $200.
Oh, my. That's tough.
So how many moving forward does he win?
I mean, okay, so I think how old is Jay?
He's almost 50.
He's almost 50? Okay. Let's assume that he's got he's not going anywhere.
No, he's going to be the coach here.
He's going to be the coach here, so he could foreseeably be the coach here for another 15 years.
I think 15 is a fair number to base your guessing off of.
So we got 15 more years with Jay Johnson. He's won 2 and 4. I don't think he's going to keep winning 2 every 4 years, but it's not all the realm of possibility. But man, I'll say 15 years. I'll go 4.
4.
In 15
so
years.
He would pass Skip.
I mean, he's got 2 and 4.
He does have 2 and 4.
I'm not saying, like I said, I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to keep winning 2 every 4 years. But even if he just wins 4 the next 15 years, that's still how well he's already done so far. I mean,
Hey, look, you're not out of bounds there. You're really not. I try to sit here and think about this without just purple and gold draped all over me.
Yeah.
Because going 8 out of 9 is preposterous.
It is.
It's statistically almost impossible in baseball to win 8 of 9 finals. But LSU's done that somehow. And so I try to think about Mike Martin. I try to think about Dave Van Horn. I try to think about Kevin O'Sullivan. He's got 1. I try to think about Dan McDonald and Jim Schlossnagle, who have combined probably been 6 or 7 times, have none. I try to think about Dave Van Horn, like I just said. Tim Corrigan's got 2 and all those great teams he's had. He's been there for over 20 years. Paul Maneri got 1 at LSU. It is very hard to win the whole thing. And LSU seems to do it. Well, there's nothing seems to about it. They just do it more than everybody else. The rules are slanted to benefit LSU. The sport is becoming more and more regional. They're going to get more and more kids out of California. But I think if you made me bet that, I would bet 2. And I feel like getting 2 more is incredible.
It is.
Ask an Arkansas fan about that. If you're going to win 2 of the next 15.
They would, there's just...
Ask a Mississippi State fan about that. You know how many good teams they've had? You know how much money they spent on that stadium? They got there 1 time. I feel like I would bet 2, total of 4, and I would let that rest.
It's risky, yeah. I think my choice of 4 is very risky because, look, I mean, it's not out. There's a wide range of possibilities. I mean, he could win 4 or 5, or he could win none. He could. I mean,
that possibility absolutely exists.
Yeah, I mean, he could win.
I
none.
would bet against none.
I would too. But I could see them making it to Omaha. 15 more years. I would. Another interesting thought would be how many times they're going to make it to Omaha. They may not win every time, but how many times? I mean, 15 years.
I would bet. I'd bet 9.
I would say at least 7 or 8, maybe, and 9 probably. So then you're looking at 8 chances or 9 chances, and all you've got to do is win a couple more. I mean, 4 out of 9 would be absurd, but it's really hard.
4 out of 9 is not even. I mean, 4 out of 9 trips because LSU's been now to Omaha 20 times. They've won. That is 8 out of 20 is still a massive hit rate.
Yes.
Just a massive hit rate. It's just, and I was thinking about this. I got a lot of time to think when I'm by myself, basically the entire time in Omaha, and think about college baseball and think about legacies and think about LSU's footprint up there and think about what the program has accomplished over 20 years. It's really over 40 years, 20 trips. It's really crazy. And I try, not because I need to prove it to myself, but I think it's reasonable as a someone who's here to give an opinion that needs to be based in reality and not just sit here and bang the gavel and say LSU's the best, Jay's getting 7, suck it, I mean, it's just I don't need to do that. I'm trying to be reasonable about this. What LSU has done is not realistic.
It's not.
It's just not. And it's going to get ramped up, and you're still dealing with Vitello, and you're dealing with Schlossnagle, and you're dealing with now Brian O'Connor's next door, and you're dealing with O'Sullivan, and Wes Johnson's had some good teams over there, and I'm trying not to just be beholden to we'll just get it done next year. We'll do it the next year. And Anderson's gone, Ionson's gone. Just the next 2 guys are going to be great. It's got to be harder than that. It just doesn't feel harder than that in Baton Rouge. It just doesn't. But it was there's your stupid games.
Yeah, and I think also just thinking about, after 23 and then 24, of course, after that, and then going into this year, people were wondering, okay, can Jay Johnson win? Can he really win without two of the best players in LSU's history? And he showed this. I think the reason, I'm just thinking about it now, I think 4 for me is realistic because of he proved he could do it this year, and he didn't. He did have a possible number 1 overall pick at McKay.
He overhauled the 23 roster.
He did, and so the way he did that, just to me, it doesn't. I can't see him not just continuing to do that. Like, what's stopping him from doing that? I mean, like you did mention some of those guys, and there are a couple of other really good coaches that you're going to have to worry about for the next 15 years. But still, it just seems like he's kind of maybe getting into that like Nick Saban type coaching ability at LSU that Nick Saban did at Alabama, where you're just every year you're just going to expect them to make it.
Right. And that's where LSU expects to be in terms of just that kind of consistency. But I mean, if you just look at this team, like you got behind 5-1 to Little Rock.
Yeah.
And then you look at this team, and if Arkansas just catches the ball in the 9th inning, it changes the narrative completely. And for some reason,
it just keeps happening.
DJ LeMahieu just gets the big hit in Game 1 against Texas, and Cressy just comes through in 2000 after Witten and Barbier hit home runs, and they just. Only one time has Jake Slaughter been called out for interference, and every other time the break goes LSU's way. The stats and the probability doesn't line up.
It doesn't.
I don't care. I like it.
Yeah.
So we'll go in there tonight and celebrate this team. 7 o'clock, the gates will open, and 8 o'clock, they'll get started from the box. We'll come back and close things out. It's a Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, Our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Well, we've got our Hunt on LSU YouTube channel for all your LSU football needs, and I did a segment to start the show today that talked about Bryson Beaver and how the LSU needed to keep him from committing to Oregon and try to get him on campus for a visit. And that segment was done about 2 hours and 50 minutes ago, and it is now dated because Bryson Beaver just committed to the Oregon Ducks. So LSU is just very likely not going to get a high school quarterback in this class. And that's just a trouble spot. I mean, it just is. You don't have enough young quarterbacks. Your quarterback room after this year is likely to be very, very low on numbers. And I just think it's hard to replenish that position from the portal for depth. For starter, not tough. You go get the guy. But your numbers need to be there. And freshmen provide numbers because they don't expect to play. So I'll talk about it on tomorrow's show, I'm sure. But that's the news that just came across the wire 5 minutes ago that Bryson Beaver is committed to Oregon. So LSU, I don't know where they're going to turn for a high school quarterback, if there is one to turn to. Probably get somebody on tomorrow to talk about it, but not great for the Tigers at this point. Let's do Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Light on calories, full on flavor. It's Flight by Yingling, the oldest brewery in America. Yingling's been doing this for 6 generations. That's a lot of beer knowledge in the Yingling family. Check out Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, perfect summer beer. Flight by Yingling.
All right, first one here. We talked about a little bit earlier with Paul Skeens and Jacob Mizorowski. Of course, Mizorowski was committed to LSU, and they could have theoretically pitched on the same team. Well, they pitched today, and Paul Skeens, not good, Hunt. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. That's only his second start this year with giving up more than 4 runs. Mizorowski, though, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. His ERA on the season, 1.13. He's only started a couple of games already so far this season, but Mizorowski will have a comparable career overall to Skeens. Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it right now. It's early. Mizorowski, a lot of fireballers that come in and then eventually kind of cool off. Skeens hasn't done that, but I'm not betting against him. I'm just saying I'll take the sure thing with Skeens to this point.
All right, the NBA draft is tonight.
It is.
Hunt, who will the Pelicans select is the question, of course. We've got some options here. Ace Bailey actually has been in the Twitters recently. He is projected to be the 3rd pick. But he says that the Pelicans are one of his destinations he would like to go to. Ace Bailey to the Pels. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave that. I don't think he's there at 7. The draft gets wonky.
It does. You never know.
The folks that
Sometimes
come in,
Anthony Bennett gets drafted first.
They do.
Right?
Well, it's when you got a bad draft.
It's not happening this year.
It's not happening this year. It's just you never know what quite's going to unfold in the NBA draft. You got a lot of different opinions on foreign players, and you got draft rights being traded all over the place. So it's going to be wild and crazy. I'll defer to Jordan. Who you got tonight?
Honestly, Hunt, I don't even know, man. There's just so much he said, she said going on in the world. Like, they're looking at Ace Bailey and all that. I don't know. I don't want Ace Bailey because it's like you're back at square one with the Birmingham stuff. Just give me Derek Queen and I'll be happy. Give me Derek Queen.
All right. You heard it from the Pelican Scoop guy.
There you go.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. For those that are headed out to the box tonight, remember, gates open at 7. Program starts at 8 o'clock. Bill Franquez, I'm sure, will be the MC. You'll hear from Jay Johnson. Some of the players. Should be a real festive occasion. And do not expect the updated Intimidator to be there. If it's like 2 years ago, which I expect, you'll see this year's championship logo displayed on the Intimidator tonight. And then over time, they will get the updated 2025 title put on that to include it with the other 7. In any event, it should be an awesome night at the box, and I hope we get to do it a lot moving forward. Appreciate y'all for sticking with us today over the last couple of hours. Shout out to Koki Riley for joining us. If you missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show, Hunt on LSU, Hunt on Saints. We appreciate y'all for getting our content in front of as many folks as possible. Shout out to Renaissance Homes and Pools for bringing you our Wednesday shows. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place. Matt will drive you home on AFR.